Good day, everybody. So today I'm calling project day because I took off work. I've got to go do one thing for sure, and then I've got a lot of other things that need to get done. So I decided to just go ahead and take a full day, try and get as absolutely much of it done as possible, and that way we're completely set up and ready to go for spring. Now, the one thing that I absolutely have to get done today is I decided to go ahead and buy all the feed in bulk that I need to raise all of our chickens. So that's the meat chickens, the laying hens that we'll get in about a month. That's also some additional feed for all the hens we already have, and then of course feed for the pigs. And I decided to add extra for the pigs since we're getting the breeding pair as well. Even though I'm not buying like thousands of pounds of feed for any of the animals, because I just don't have that many animals here to feed, it's still cheaper, I found, to buy it in bulk. And so I've been just buying stuff either from the local mill, like 1 or 2 bags at a time, or Tractor Supply, and it's fine, but I'm wanting to try and stick with the organic stuff, and it's hard to find the organic stuff local for cheap. So I'm going about an hour away to a feed mill, which I guess technically still local, and getting about, I think I did the math, it's a little over 1,300 pounds worth of food today. Another thing I'm working on today is actually trying to harden off some of my flowers and vegetables that we planted. These have not been doing super hot because I don't think they're just not getting enough sunlight, and we've had a kind of a cold stretch the last couple of days where I couldn't really get these outside. So right now we're in the upper 50s. I'm gonna try to work on hardening off our tomato plants, our pepper plants, some more tomatoes, and then marigolds and a little bit of basil. So one of my first projects today is actually going to be to bleach this out, get it sanitized, cut the lid out of it, and turn this into a pig water. So I bought some pig nipples, and I decided to buy some bulkheads to make it a little bit more sturdy. So one of my projects is going to be to get this sorted out today. It's going to probably be 2 steps because I need to cut the lid out and bleach it and sanitize it, and then I'm going to come back a little bit later after it's had some time to sit, rinse it out, drill the holes, and get the bulkheads and the water nipples installed. Easy enough. We got the lid out. Last thing is we need to rinse that out and then fill it up with water and let it soak for a little bit. Alright, so we're just going to let that sit, sanitize for a little bit. And our next to-do item is actually down at the barn. So the goal down here today is actually just to get our new pig area completely finished. All I've got left is to put a latch on this, make sure that my wall here is secure properly. It's been sunk into the ground, but I'm debating either putting in some additional wood reinforcement to make sure that it doesn't want to tip if they want to lean on it. And then if not, I may just drive in some T-posts down here and that'll keep it from going anywhere. Lastly, I just want to make sure that any of the kind of larger gaps, they're completely filled. So I brought in some extra wood with me just in case I need it. One of the goals for this stall is that when the pig gets ready to have her piglets, I want to make sure that they can't get out. The other piece of that is I want to make sure that I have the opportunity in here to do a bit of a deep bedding. I've got to deal with the door being able to swing in, so it'll be a little bit of a challenge. But I want to make sure that I can get at least a foot, of material in here. So this will serve two purposes. One, allowing me to layer up the material, and also to try and help keep the little piglets in. We're going to call it luck, but those boards are exactly the right length. So I'll have to do minimal cutting, which is good because I didn't bring the skill saw. I only brought my Sawzall, and that thing cuts like garbage. Not bad. I'm gonna run a few more just to make sure, but I think I'll get away with maybe not having to use the T-post. Just a little extra encouragement. Easy enough. All right, so the only thing that I've got a little bit of a conundrum on is what to do here. So the issue is, once the gate's actually shut, there's a little bit of a gap here. And obviously I don't want the pigs getting into that. That could cause them a little bit of trouble. So what I think I'm gonna actually end up doing is notching out this board here and putting one more additional one across here. It's still easy enough to step over, high enough to discourage the pigs, and then I may put something in temporary just to raise it if I feel like I need to. But I feel like that'll probably be sufficient, but we're gonna kind of keep an eye on that and see how it looks. All right, so this is what I decided to do. Took this piece out. Actually just used my Sawzall to kind of ease in here and cut that back to the post. I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeballing this, but roughly half. And then I'm going to cut another 1x6 to fit across this doorway here. All right, so we're pretty much good in here. So just to recap what all we've done, I reinforced the bottom over there where that bottom board was split a little bit, and then covered the gap. I covered the gap on this side. I'm still debating if I need to do anything on that side or not, because that door will be open most of the time and it'll cover most of that wall. So I'm still sort of debating on this one, but we'll kind of see on that. We got our board across the bottom. I actually had a piece of cedar that was just the right length here, or at least close enough to cover that piece. I put a scrap piece of 2x4 across here to fill this gap. And of course we fastened our wall. So everything nice and sturdy now. And last but not least, we got our gate and our latch. The only thing this cost me was I had to buy this $8 latch and I don't know, a dozen, but maybe 2 or 3 dozen screws, whatever that costs. Everything else was stuff that I reclaimed. Old reclaimed pallet, old reclaimed pallet. Most of the 1-bys that I was using was all old reclaimed pallets. The hinges actually came off of the barn from where the old doors were hanging. So yeah, all of this pretty much didn't cost me a dime, which was pretty awesome. So it's not pretty, but I think it's super functional. Of course, we'll let time be the judge of that. So I figured while I was at it, while I'm down here, I'll go ahead and show you this. Finally got our solar charger installed. It's not permanent because I really wanted it to be on this post. I put my grounding rod here, but because this post is taller, the pre-supplied cables that came with that can't reach it. So what I've done just for the time being is I put on a shorter post. I'm actually grounding it to the post itself, and it works. All right, so this has been dumped now, and I decided that I'm gonna actually put these about where the 5-gallon mark is on this bucket, just to make sure that it's high enough off the ground that the pigs aren't like stooping to try to drink. It will mean I gotta carry more water, but I think it'll mean less waste. So that's where we're gonna start. Unfortunately, I don't have a drill bit big enough, and I can't find the chuck for my hole saw. So we're just gonna ream it out and then put the bulkhead through, and it should be fine. In hindsight, I do have paddle bits that are probably big enough, but this should be all right. Nope, battery's dying. So get a new battery and finish this up, and I'll show you the finish. Got one of these in. I want to show you guys. This is the bulkhead. This is a 2-inch bulkhead, and these are 2-inch NPT pig water nipples. I ordered all this stuff on Amazon just to make it easy. I haven't tested these to see if they leak, but I haven't really had a way to, so we're gonna thread these in. You can thread these directly into the barrel. They're coarse thread. I think that the bulkheads will be better because it'll keep them from twisting out and stuff when the pigs are on it, and this will make it a much more sturdy. But one thing I think I am going to need to do is actually put some thread tape on this. So I'm going to probably take this back apart, but wanted to show you what this is going to look like. So the pigs will push on that, and that's how they'll get their water. The goal is, again, as I said before, not have to make as many trips, with the water bucket, because they're constantly laying in their water and dumping it. So hopefully this will help. All right, so I'm not going to get finished before I got to go get feed. I'm about to do that now. So Dad's actually going to come give me a hand. We're going to run and get the feed, and then when we get back, I got plenty more I got to still do. So see you again soon. All right, one more thing I need to actually do down at the barn is something I mentioned earlier, is I actually need to get some bedding down there for the pigs. Talk to the owner, the current owner. Yes, you're a good girl. Yes, you're such a good girl. Yes, you are. You want to come with me? Come. Good girl. Anyways, as I was saying, I just need to get some bedding down there because I found out that Friday is when the pigs are coming. So we will be adding at least 2, potentially 3 that day, and that should be the last animals we're adding for the year. Except the already expected chickens that we'll be adding next week and then a month from then. The plan is, at least initially, to have 3 pigs in here. That's just because, if we're going to get all 3 of them, we're going to quarantine them off just for a little bit. I'm pretty sure I need to worm at least 2 of them, maybe all 3 of them. And then once they kind of get acclimated, I'll take the male that we're not breeding and put him in with the rest of our pigs. Turns out 1 bale of straw is too much for this little area. So the last thing that I need to do today that will actually be interesting is go finish our pig water, which is good because I just noticed that the pigs have dumped both of their buckets of water already, and I think the chickens are getting low too. So got to run some water to those guys first, and then we'll get up, we'll finish our last water barrel, and then I got to do all the boring stuff like record keeping and looking at the amount of money I just spent. So that'll be fun. Good afternoon, ladies. How we doing? How we doing, Mr. T? Coming to check on you girls. And I'm coming to take some eggs. I still can't get over how tiny these little bantam eggs are. You've got happy hens when you've got 19 and you get 18 eggs. And they're nice and clean finally. Not so much mud out here as there was. We've had a couple of nice days. It's been a really nice week. Can I help you? You're being awful noisy. What's up, pigs? How are we doing? There ain't nothing in there yet, guys. And this is why I'm working on a pig water. They've successfully emptied almost 5 gallons of water in about 30 seconds. We're back up here to finish off these waters. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 more holes in this, finish putting all this together, and I gotta go back and remember to do the thread tape. Make sure that this doesn't leak. Alright, so I'm officially at the let's test for leaks stage. This looks good. We're going to do one more good wash of this thing, rinse it out, and I may take it down there and go ahead and try to fill it up this afternoon for the pigs. Had a few test runs here and I think I finally got it. I was getting just a little bit of seepage in between this metal and this plastic in the bulkhead, and so I had to take them out and, you know, layer up thread tape quite a bit to get it to seal. So it's possible it may still leak, and I'll be keeping an eye on it and see how bad it leaks, but for the moment it seems like it's holding. Hey pigs, I've got a gift for you. Hello to you too, Mr. T, and all you jealous hens. Alright, so we're going to get that barrel in here and see how long it takes them to kind of figure it out. I know just from watching some others that you kind of got to train them to those nipples a little bit, but some of them take to it quickly and some don't, so hopefully these guys will take to it quickly. Well, they're certainly curious about it. Well, I am good and soaked. Pants, shoes, everything. Oh well. Alright, well, we've got about 10 gallons in there, minus what I'm wearing. See if I can go show them how those nipples work. There you go. You're just gonna scratch on it, huh? Well, I probably could have put those a little bit higher. I think they'll be all right, but maybe next time I make one of these, I'll put those a little bit higher. Or I may just find something I can stick underneath this. Either way, we're gonna let them have it, and we'll see, come back, see how they're doing, get some updates later. All right, so there's one more thing that I'm gonna try and get done today, but I'm running out of steam. And that is actually to go get the brooder area set up for the chicks, because they are expected next week, and we are over halfway, well, we're halfway through this week. So I got a few days. That's not super critical, but the sooner I get that set up, make sure everything's working like we're expecting, the better. All right, well, it is almost 8 o'clock at night, and frankly I've run out of steam. So the only thing I was really hoping to get done today that I didn't get to was getting our brooder set up, but I'll probably do that one afternoon this week. I've got a couple days still, so not super worried about it, but I'm dragging. I still gotta go and help get the kids ready for bed, so I'm gonna sign off for now, but thanks for watching. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Thanks.